Hello everyone, my name is Josh and this is Whimsical and Interesting Musings, and today I have a book review for you on, drumroll please, Career of Evil by J.K. Rowling, writing as Robert Galbraith. And this is the third book in J.K. Rowling's Cormoran Strike series, a series of detective novels told from the point of view of a private detective and his assistant Robin Ellicott, who are basically solving crimes, dealing with life and love and all the things in between as well. And this is the third book. This is the title is taken from the Blue Oyster Cult song of the same name, Career of Evil. And I really enjoyed this book. This was actually a really good third installment to the series. And I was actually very excited when this book came out because the first two books were so good. I actually found myself thinking, oh, it's like a reverse of Harry Potter, where the first book is blue and the second book is red, whereas in the Harry Potter series, the first book is red and the second book is blue. Is the third book going to be purple? I hope and pray that it's going to be purple. And when I saw it on the shelf and it was purple, it had the sort of like a colour scheme of purple, I was absolutely very happy that I guessed the colour scheme very well. And this is a book that I really do think is a very interesting story overall, because like with a lot of the other Cormoran Strike novels, a good portion of what makes their appeal so magnetic is that you are following a private detective. So a lot of the things that happen in a private detective's life, you pretty much are seeing with their investigative methods whenever they go into an institution or a big sort of environment or an industry. They have full frontal access to everything. They have everything, pretty much laid out. They're given lots of privileges that a lot of other police officers or other people who work in law enforcement don't often get a lot of access to. So this is one of the things that I really do like about this series, and it really adds a new layer of intrigue to how things are presented. So with the first book being all about the fashion industry and about models and about, the behind the scenes drama of those sorts of lifestyle worlds and things like that, like the catwalks and what have you. The second book was about the publishing industry. This book is about the military. So the book basically picks up during the time when Robin is about to plan her wedding to Matthew Cunliffe, who is the thing of pure evil according to me, but I don't know. It could change as books goes on, but I definitely don't like Matthew. He's one of my least favourite characters in the entire series. He literally is a total arsehole in every respect. Like, the fact that he just judges Cormoran Strike right off the bat, it goes to show that he kind of has a bit of a Mr. Brightside complex as far as I'm concerned, where he basically just kind of deliberately goes right to the negative and doesn't really see any redeemable qualities or anything really worth likeable about the guy. And I just really find that really infuriating that he hasn't met the guy and he has a lot of issues, but I digress. While she is at the office, basically on the phone to her wedding planner, trying to prepare the wedding of her and Matthew, she finds a severed woman's leg, and this leads to an entire rabbit hole of dark and twisted things to come. So basically what this entire book is from the point of view of, we have the very traditional Cormoran Strike and Robin point of view chapters. We get to learn a lot about Cormoran's story in this episode, about how he basically functioned after the military and also during his time within the military as well, which I really do like. But then we also get a lot of backstory about Robin, and we get a lot of backstory about her old university days and why she left university so abruptly. And of course there's another little secret that comes to pass later on in the series that really does kind of put a bit of a blunder in the preparations for the wedding of her and Matthew, which kind of is a win-win for me, because I don't think I don't think Matthew deserves Robin. I think Robin deserves way better than Matthew, honestly, in my personal opinion. So yeah, this was an incredible book. And what I really like about this book, even though I have read other books like this before where they have had a point of view of the killer chapters, this one was done in a very interesting and very entertaining way. I feel like J.K. Rowling is such a master of suspense, and she really understands how to draw in these little details in a way that's very quite, interesting, and really makes you feel like it allows you to play the detective along with the actual detectives of the story. You are kind of also, because when you get to the suspects, which are, I actually have a list of notes here. The suspects for this particular series of murders involving women are Terence Digger Malley, Noel Brombank, Noel Brockbank, excuse me, I do beg your pardon, and Donald Lee and Jeff Whitaker. And these are basically old colleagues of his whom he investigated during his war days, and Cormoran Strike basically has to try to figure out which one of these four suspects are basically the killer, who's basically harassing Cormoran and Robin and leaving all sorts of horrific, notes and clues about, what's been going on. The whole entire topic of this particular book does deal with domestic abuse and all sorts of other controversial topics like paedophilia and what have you. So if you're at all sensitive to that subject matter or if you are easily offended, then I would highly recommend going into this book with on the side of caution, because it does go into some very upsetting areas, especially when it comes to things like domestic violence, or excuse me, to give it a more proper term, domestic abuse. It really does go into a lot of those details. But I feel like J.K. Rowling is a very smart novelist. She knows how to approach these topics with sensitivity and with a lot of class, and I really do respect her a lot for that. But what I really do like about this book overall is, again, we have a lot of great backstories about the characters. We find out what happened to Robin during her university days, what made her cut her university career short. And it is actually really traumatic and really, hard to read about, really. I think it's a very powerful backstory, and it really gives you a lot of... It gives you a newfound respect for Robin, and I do think that's something that I really do like, even though I really liked Robin in the first two books. I feel like she is an absolute survivor and girl boss in this entire book, because she absolutely has her head on top of things. She's totally in control during this entire novel, and it's so well done, and I really do love what J.K. Rowling has done with this character and what she really is able to go through in this story, but able to come out the top as well, which I really do like. This entire book is fantastic. I love the references to Blue Oyster Cult, because I'm a huge Blue Oyster Cult fan. I love Don't Fear the Reaper, and Burning for You is one of my favourites. I absolutely love Blue Oyster Cult. So the fact that there was a ton of references. In fact, the chapter headings are given to Blue Oyster Cult lyrics as well. Like in chapter 6, for example, there's a quote saying, "Is it any wonder that my mind's on fire? Blue Oyster Cult flaming telepaths." And I actually really do like that she incorporated song lyrics into this particular book. And that's an ongoing theme of the Cormoran Strike novels. J.K. Rowling will include references to music. Like there's one instance where the song Power of Love is referenced in the first book, The Cuckoo's Calling, and there's all sorts of other musical references. There's one instance in the follow-up book called Lethal White where the song Wherever You Will Go by I've forgotten the name of the people who did it. The Calling, Culling. I had a bit of a brain fart there for a moment. But yeah, I really do think it's incredible what she's able to do with the music, and it really does pinpoint a lot of interesting things about the tone of the story, what kind of a impression she wants to give you for the entire series. But this book was really good overall. I really do like the fact that this book did so well, and I think it's probably one of the better ones of the lineup of the original trilogy of books so far, I feel like. And it does get better, though. I do feel like, the entire series does build from strength to strength to strength with every single installment, and it never gets boring. Like when I read this book initially, I was actually very happy just to be opening up these pages again and to see these characters again. So I really do like the fact that with this installment, pretty much like with the Harry Potter books, when you read the first page or the first chapter and you're introduced to the main characters again, you do feel at home, or you do feel like you're visiting an old friend almost. So I really do love this book overall. It's a fantastic third installment to the series. And I really am looking forward to seeing, and I really am looking forward to continuing on with the series, because it was announced a couple of days ago that the title for the new book, the seventh book in the series, is called The Running Grave, and I'm looking forward to basically rereading these books in the build up to the seventh installment, and I'm looking forward to giving my views on the sixth book, The Ink Black Heart, which is the longest one of the lot yet. And this will be a good time, more than anything, to basically talk about the television adaptation starring Tom Burke and Holliday Grainger. And this particular adaptation is really well done. I really do like the dynamic. I love the casting of both Tom Burke and Holliday Grainger as Cormoran and Robin, respectively. They did a very good job of reinterpreting the characters in their own way, but then also allowing a lot of room for a lot of book accurate elements to these characters to really kind of flourish. And I really do like the fact that it was very well cast. I feel like every single aspect of this particular adaptation is very well captured with Tom Edge's writing. He really did a good job of adapting all three books in the series so far very well, and I am calling it so far because I think the series was actually released around the same time that, you know, the third book was in publication or in circulation, so I think this is a better time than any to actually bring up the television adaptation, and I really did enjoy it so far, and I really do feel like all the adaptations have really done a good job, especially with the adaptation of Troll Blood. They took a 900-page novel and they basically tried to translate it within 5 episodes, and that was a very big undertaking to master yourself with. So I feel like that's something that really is quite fantastic, that Tom Edge was able to do that. And I just love the characters. I love the television show portrayals of these characters, but then I also love the book counterparts. I'll always love the book counterparts, because I have my own version of Cormoran and Robin in my head whenever I read these books, but whenever I watch the TV series now, or whenever I read a new book, whenever I read The Ink Black Heart, I always imagine Tom Burke and Holliday Grainger. I don't know if you guys, fans of these books, ever have that feeling where once you've seen the adaptations, you immediately see the television versions of these characters, or whether you have your own version like I do. But then I always find myself, you know, being influenced by the adaptations, the adaptation portrayal. So it's very weird. It's a weird sort of hybrid for me now. Like, it's very weird. But I love this book. It's 5 out of 5 stars. A really great, you know, third installment into the series. And I can't wait to talk about the other books in the series. The next book will be Lethal White, and I hope you enjoyed this video on my book review for Career of Evil by Robert Galbraith, or J.K. Rowling writing as Robert Galbraith. And I hope you're all having a very good day. This has been Joshua from WHIMS Musings. Take care. Bye for now.